Brea, Neri. While Juniata College is not officially recognized as a religiously affiliated institution, we are, however, rooted in the principles shared by the Brethren who established the college in 1876. These Brethren principles remain relevant to us today as Juniatians. Principles such as peace and reconciliation, integrity of speech, and service to neighbors near and far. As one chapter of the Juniata legacy ends and another begins, we must take this opportunity to challenge and reaffirm long-standing ideals. As a Bonner leader and AmeriCorps member, I am committed to a life of service both locally and internationally. Moving forward, we, the students, faculty, and administration of Juniata College, need to reaffirm our commitment to service learning programs. President-elect Troja, I urge you to recognize what service learning is, as well as its benefits. Let's explore how to expand service learning programs across the curriculum. And finally, how you can affirm Juniata's enthusiasm for service through explicit encouragement and financial support. U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan once said, "A first-rate education includes civic responsibility as well as academic preparation." Earning a quality education, especially here at Juniata, does not mean simply attending your 8 a.m. classes or doing your homework on Moodle. It means engaging with those around you and realizing your obligation to help others. What better way to do just this than through service learning? Service learning seems fairly straightforward, right? It's just combining service and learning. Well, the National Service Learning Clearinghouse defines service learning as a teaching and learning strategy that integrates meaningful community service with instruction and reflection to enrich the learning experience, teach civic responsibility, and strengthen communities. Service learning is often confused with volunteerism or community service, but we must recognize that it is much more than that. The benefits of service learning involve not only the students and professors, but also the college and the community. The Brethren who founded Juniata believed strongly that faith without works is dead. This mirrors the secular sentiment that theory without practice is sterile. Applying knowledge fosters true student learning and retention. Now, I know some of my fellow students out there roll their eyes when they see a community service component on a syllabus, but hear me out. Service learning allows you to spend more time out in the community and less time in those tiny, uncomfortable desks in Goodhall. Plus, it's a great resume builder and talking point in any interview. Professors benefit with more engaged students, and the college and community benefit through the creation of meaningful community partnerships that break down stereotypes. How wonderful would it be if we were no longer townies or spoiled rich kids on the hill, and instead, Huntington community members? Truly, service learning is a win-win for all parties. So, how exactly can we expand its reach and use at Juniata? The Community Service Office works hard to create meaningful service experiences for students through programs and trips like Urban Immersion or Spring Break Alternative. But you should know that according to the Registrar's Office, only 19 out of 1,964 courses offered last year had a service learning component. That means only 0.009% of all Juniata classes give back to the community. Sure, some professors are taking initiative and incorporating service into their courses. Take, for instance, Dr. Emil Nagengast, who teaches a course entitled African Development, which includes an experiential learning trip to the Gambia. Dr. Nagengast's course requires 1 week of service at a local hospital, farm, or school. As a student on the trip this past winter, I can testify that my week of service is by far one of the highlights of my trip. But you don't have to go to Africa. There are plenty of organizations here in Huntington that would make great project partners, such as the Huntington Community Center, Habitat for Humanity, or J.C. Blair Hospital, to name a few. Juniata's mission is to provide an engaging, personalized educational experience, empowering students to develop the skills, knowledge, and values that lead to a fulfilling life of service and ethical leadership in the global community. Then I ask you, Dr. Troha, if service is such a key part of how we define ourselves, why not give students more opportunities to apply their classroom knowledge while engaging with the community? Once we have recognized its benefits and expanded its use, we will need to continually affirm our commitment to these programs. With your affirmation, they will be able to expand and flourish. Juniata freshmen are required to take an information access course. Why not also require a community engagement course that would help students assimilate into the Huntington community? Or why not require a class with a service learning component as a liberal arts requirement? Requiring a community engagement class would emphasize the deeply rooted culture of giving back that defines Juniata. It is crucial that you give service learning the explicit recognition and respect it deserves. Let's embrace our roots and lead by example by moving service learning to the top of our new agenda. Let's make service learning such an important topic of conversation that it distinguishes us amongst our peer institutions. Increase funding for these programs. With more financial support, Juniata could offer training and resources for hesitant professors on how to incorporate service learning. Of all your priorities, Dr. Troha, service learning is a solid investment in the Juniata community. According to our website, we, as liberal arts scholars, have a responsibility to seek activities that enrich communities and give back to humanity. We can clearly see that learning isn't something that occurs only in a classroom. My advice to you, Dr. Troha, is to reaffirm Juniata's commitment to service. It is essential that we reach outside of our Juniata bubble and give back to a community that gives much to us. We need to ensure that we stay true to who we say we are. As we make this transition with you, I ask on behalf of my classmates and our community that you take my proposal to heart. We must remember that as Juniatians, it is not enough for us to simply think and evolve. We must also serve.